Hey everybody, this is Denny Strecker and wanted to talk to you again this week. We had several conversations in the school, again, pretty much as I have every single week, but this one came up 3 different times. So I thought it was pretty important to make sure that we talk to you about and make sure that everybody kind of knows what's going on. From a long time ago with one of my business coaches, I learned early on that was statement that he taught me was that children are a sunrise and not a light switch. And so basically what that's talking about is meaning that kids are going to develop at their own pace and at their own time or on their own schedule. And so all too often parents get frustrated and upset when their child isn't able to do something in particular, and instead of just letting the development happen or giving them the conditions to be able to improve, you kind of put your expectations on them, and that's never going to be a formula for success. So, for example, in particular, in this week, we had a parent that was kind of frustrated with their child. They have to work on the skill of balance, and they have to be able to show me 5 front kicks per belt level. So every belt level they go up, we have to add 5, so 10, 15, 20. And they've been here for a while, and so they were getting frustrated that their child wasn't able to complete the kicks, and basically expected that they should be able to. So I had to remind them that, again, children are a sunrise, not a light switch. That your child is basically just telling us that they haven't had enough practice on balance. So here are some things you can do with them at home. Here's some other skills that you can work on, and basically let them develop on their own. And when they're ready, they'll be successful and they'll earn their stripe. And so a lot of things go into this whole process. So balance in particular, we've got kids that are 7 or 8 years old that aren't riding or aren't able to ride a 2-wheeler yet. They're still on training wheels. But I have some 5-year-olds that are on 2 wheels and they don't need training wheels anymore. So a lot of it's just going to come into what practice, what priority, and what's important to the child, and what do they do in order to develop those skills. So instead of getting frustrated, just finding those opportunities is going to be important. The other one that was super important to me and disappointing was a mom has decided that my program's not the right fit, that it's not helping her child because he's been here for 6 classes, and after 6 classes she's not seeing any change. Again, it's a sunrise, it's not a light switch. If your child is 9, 10 years old, they've had 9 or 10 years to develop the bad habits or the negative behaviors that they have right now. While I'm good at what I do, I'm not going to be able to fix it in just 4 or 5 lessons. I have them for 45 minutes twice a week. So out of all of the hours in the week, I have them for an hour and a half. I will make an impact and I will improve your child's behavior. But again, we've got to be thinking long-term about this process. So same idea, and again, this was the unfortunate one because she's decided that this just isn't going to work because in 6 lessons there hasn't been a change, so she's pulling her child. The key that tied into it just as much as what I do here, that parents make the mistake that because I make the classes fun, they think that by not bringing their child that's going to be a good punishment when they misbehave. And again, you don't want to do that. That's counterproductive. You're taking them out of the environment that's going to help them learn how to behave, right, as a punishment. Now, while I see what you're trying to accomplish, again, you're being counterproductive and you're kind of tying my hands. So what we talk about is if your child's misbehaving, make sure you bring them to class. Tell me ahead of time, send me an email or a text or call, let me know what's going on, and magically, like the quotes, magically, something in that class is going to happen around what your child did as misbehavior. So for example, went to school and my child punched somebody today. Well, guess what? In class that day, we're going to talk about how important it is to keep our hands to ourselves. So in that, guys, I can address the situation, I can redirect the behavior, I can then even talk to the child afterwards and say, hey, school called me and told me what happened. That's not good. You can't do that again. So that way they know that I know what happened, right? They've already gotten it at home, hopefully, and gotten in trouble there. I don't have to yell and scream. I can just let them know, hey, I know what's going on and that's not acceptable. And that's generally enough to start correcting some of the behavior. It's not going to automatically eliminate all negative behavior, but again, it's the right path. If you simply take them home and don't, hey, we're not going to karate because I know you like karate and so no karate, that's not going to help the situation as best as it could. So one more time, children are a sunrise, not a light switch. everything takes time, right? Think about the long haul. That would be my last thing. Whenever I'm developing a new habit or technique with a child, again, I'm thinking of, okay, I'm going to dedicate the next 4 to 6 months working on this habit so that I don't have to spend the next 4 to 6 years worrying or thinking about it. Right? Doesn't mean I don't check it. Doesn't mean I don't look for it or inspect it. Doesn't mean I don't mention it when they forget. But if you really dedicate, and again, things don't happen in days. Think in terms of months or even years when you're dealing with your child, and that's going to be your sunrise. And when you follow that format, you're going to be less frustrated. You're going to have a lot more patience, right? You're going to be much more effective. And in the long run, your child's going to be a whole lot happier. So there you have it. Put that up somewhere. Put it right in a journal. Put it up on your fridge. Whatever works for you. Memorize it. Children are a sunrise, not a light switch, and that should help you lead to a much happier and healthier child. Have a great week, and I hope to talk to you soon.